Hello, and thank you for joining me here on Simply Inspired. And I want to thank you for supporting me. Here, we're gonna have a little cooking class, I guess. And I'm just gonna show you one of my favorite meals, probably one of my healthier meals. And I just want to show you guys and share what I love to feed my family. So, first, what we're gonna want to do is start off with your tofu. Yes, some people have tofu pressers, but me, you know what? We don't got that kind of money. So all you need to do is get yourself a plate. Put something nice and sturdy and heavy on top of it. I use my little thing that I hold my vegetables in and put it on right smack dab on top of it to press all the water out. Next thing you're gonna do is once to get your broccoli started and cleaned and chopped up. I use the prepackaged broccoli because personally I don't like dealing with, you know, cutting up broccoli. Then I soak it. And so next I'm going to do is my potatoes. So what you're going to do is peel it. In case you don't know how to peel, I just showed a little bit. Put them bad boys into that bowl that you saw in the beginning. And next on to the squash. You're going to peel it as well. And you're going to make it nice, and you want to make sure there's no white spots on it still. And then I simply cut off the little stumps of them and then cut it off because you don't want those hard pieces on your squash when you're chewing it. So you're going to cut those ends right off. Then what I did, I just chopped it right down the middle. However, I'm not sure how you chop up squash, but this is how I ended up doing it. And then bam, you get this beautiful squashy looking thing. And so then you're going to spoon out all of the seeds. I'm not sure what people do with the seeds. I'm sure you could do something with them. But as for me, I just simply put them in my hand and throw them in the garbage. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you could do something with it, let me know down in the comments because I don't know. And then what I did was I cut it right down the middle. Oh, and then this is when the realization comes that that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so let's just forget about that. So what you're going to do is cut it right down before the hollow piece is because you don't want your squash to be too thin. And then you're going to cut it right into some cubes, just like little nice chewable cubes for your family to eat and enjoy. And then now with the piece that you weren't supposed to cut down the middle like the other ones, you're going to cut it into cubes too. So now you have beautiful squash pieces, and this is them here. You're going to put them all right down into a bowl, and then guess what we're going to do with it? Can anybody guess? Yes, we're going to wash them because we need to be clean, right? God is clean and orderly, so we must practice the same because we don't want to get sick. So next thing we're going to do is cut our potatoes. If you saw, I cut it right down the middle, and I cut it down the middle again and start chopping it up just like this, so it could be cubes too, and you want them kind of equal to the cubes of your squash so they cook similarly. And so then I just did it to the other side too. That half of the half I halved it in the middle, cut it down. Now I'm throwing it into the bowl, and if you know what I'm about to do, go ahead, write it down in the comment box. Oh wait, here we go. We are washing it, and yes, we need to make sure make sure we get all of that starch off of it and all the dirt that could have been on it. We're gonna wash it right off, and then we're going to drain them both. I drained the squash off camera, and I drained the potatoes here too. And next thing we're gonna do is season these bad boys. We're gonna put olive oil and salt on them, but for my potatoes I like to do a little something different. I like to add garlic powder and seasoning salt on it, but it seems that I have accidentally removed the part where I added the seasoning salt on it. But you can season your vegetables to your liking. It really doesn't matter because I never follow the recipes anyway because they end up not being, you know, salty enough for our taste in this household. And not that you should eat a lot of salt, you know, you should refrain from eating too much salt. But anyway, so here we are oiling the broccoli as well. And we're gonna put some salt on there too. And then shake it all around when you're done. And it's kind of hard to do it with the broccoli. As you can see, one of my broccolis just went flying. So if you would like to do it in a better bowl than I did, I just wanted it to be cute for the video. And then so you just get some parchment paper, lay out the squash on there, make sure they're not touching so they can get cooked evenly. You do the same for your potatoes. Now, as far as the heating for your potatoes and squash and broccoli, it really is what you want to put it. You can put it high to cook faster, lower to whatever. Yeah, you get the idea. And so now I put a cup of quinoa in there. Next thing you do, yeah, when you're doing this, you're gonna be moving consistently until you sit down to eat it. So you do your quinoa, you wash your quinoa just like you would with rice or any other grain you would cook. You wash it off to get all the dirt or whatever off of there. As you can see, the water gets pretty dirty. So you wash it, and then what you're gonna do, I only used 1 cup of quinoa because I have a small family. So, cook according to your family, add how many cups there. As far as how much water you put in there, I really don't know. I just put enough in there, eyeball it, and just make sure it's cooked. You will know when it's cooked. Next, we're back to the tofu, which we pressed out. And now all the water is out of there, and you're just going to cut it right down the middle because it's a bit too thick of a cube if you just do one big chunk. And so now I did like a grid-like pattern on this tofu to make sure it's nice little cubes. If you don't know how to do that, just watch the video. It's right here. I mean, I know my cameraman kind of didn't get to show you exactly how I was cutting it, but you'll see once it's done. And yeah, you know what? If you see my finger there, that is not because I cut myself. It is because I got the most intense paper cut I've ever had in my whole human existence, so bad that it needed a band-aid. And what you'll see later, it will be off of my finger by the time this video is done because it just didn't want to stay on my finger. So yeah, so here's the cubes of our tofu looking all fancy on camera. Of course, tofu is plainer than hospital food, so we're gonna have to add some type of seasoning. Soy sauce gets in there nicely, and oops, splashed a little bit, but that's okay. So we add soy sauce, barbecue sauce, we add some honey up on there. I love sweets, and the Lord needs to help me with sweets, but it's not too sweet, honestly. Then you add some seasoned salt and salt because truly you'll find that tofu is hard to season. And then I add some ginger to give it like a little oriental kind of flavor, I guess you could say. And to try to make this a bit healthier, I like to add it into the air fryer. And in case you are wondering why in the world I did not just grab a spoon and spoon it into there, yeah, I have a baby, in which I'm pretty sure you can hear in the background too, who was just wanting to be in my arms. So, you gotta do what you gotta do. The work still got to get done. So here is the cilantro. Now, I washed my cilantro off camera, and you can do whatever you want to with your cilantro. If you want to keep the whole stem, it's really your preference. Me personally, I like more of a leafy salad because this is going to be a salad on the side of your little vegetable and quinoa here. So I like my cilantro to be more leafy than it is stemmy, I guess, if that's a word. And if you were like me, I kind of forgot about my potatoes and my broccoli because I was too busy focusing on the video. So what you're going to do is flip your squash and potatoes in the middle and then add your broccoli in there because your broccoli does not take as long to cook as the potatoes and squash. So if you see in there, they got a little burnt, but I scraped it off on camera so you couldn't see that. Listen, this I never said was perfect, okay? I'm just trying to show you what I do. And this is what happens in a normal woman's household if they're honest with you. And so now here's your tomatoes. You just slice them up. No rocket science. We all know how to slice up a tomato. But if you don't, there it is. You just slice it how many times? I don't know. Maybe 4 times. Then we sliced open that avocado. Sorry, I didn't get to show the peeling off of the skin of the avocado because my cameraman recorded my hand instead of the food. But that's okay because we're both learning. So this is basically your salad right there. You got some cilantro and your tomatoes, they're cherry tomatoes and avocado. It's actually a nice little combination. But last but not least, here we are with the tahini sauce. I don't know the measurements. I will leave a recipe down in the box there for you to check out. But I added soy, barbecue sauce, and I added honey, and I added lemon juice. And then I added some salt as well. I will leave a description, some similar recipe to this in the description box so you can get some exact measurements if you want. But that consistency was too thick. I just added some water here to thin it up a bit. You don't want it too thin, nor do you want it too thick. You want it just perfect, and you will be able to tell it's like a nice creamy feeling. Now I have a baby bowl to make my quinoa look fancy. If you don't have a baby bowl, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you don't really need to make your plate look this fancy anyways if you're just gonna eat it. I just wanted to do it for presentational purposes, to make it look nice on camera, to act like I'm fancy, but this is not really how it goes down at the house. I mean, sometimes, but when I feel fancy. But here we go. We add everything up and make it look all nice, and you just sprinkle your tahini sauce on top of it, and there you go, a nice healthy meal. I thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys try this out because truly it is superb and yummy. And I hope you guys come again. Let me know if you like this video so I can make some more like this. Thank you for joining me here on Simply Inspired. And until then, you guys stay busier than a bee and you guys stay blessed. Simply Inspired.